Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this Thursday. Welcome back to the channel and let's jump straight into it. Today, we are going to be talking about the Maxisys Ultra top 10 questions of the week. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Curtis Harden. You want to purchase your Autel tool, go to auteltech.co.za, book the diagnostic tool consultation, and I'll give you the best tool package and service that you see in this presentation. Okay. Question number 1. Can the Maxisys Ultra handle the programming of a new transmission valve body for a 2015 Infiniti Q50? Okay. Now, for clarification, the Autel only does programming from the tablet for BMW and Mercedes. Okay. So the answer is no, the Autel can't do it. However, with the use of the Autel VCMI and the NERS software, okay, you can do the program, okay? It's very expensive. It's $425, and then they charge $50 each calibration file. Now, this is a short-term solution because on August 21st, 2024, they're going to sunset the NERS software and will not be functional anymore. Okay, so this gives me option number 2, which is your long-term solution, which is to transition into the Console 3 Plus right to repair software. Okay, this will replace the NERS software. You'll give you the programming for the vehicles from 1999 to present day. It's not compatible with the Autel VCMI or any Autel product. Okay, I found this out years ago as we were attracted with the price. All right, to access the software, it's $50, and I tried everything. I connected the J-Box, got the drivers, and it wouldn't install. So I sold the Cardac Plus 3 to the client, and it went in there and everything was a breeze. Okay, so in order to use this software, you have to use this validated approved J2534. Okay, so those are your options. You have a short-term option and a long-term option. I sell this for about $1,800. Okay, next question. Diagnosing and resolving a keep alive power voltage too low on a 2012 Ford F-250. So I'm going to give you the diagnostic workflow that you can follow with the Maxisys Ultra. Okay, so the cam isn't something like you can pinpoint like an alternator or a battery. It's a part of the PCM and in its internal memory. Okay, and it stands for Keep Alive Memory, and it preserves fault codes, freeze frame data, and adaptive learning values, and it receives a continuous power, ensuring data is maintained even when the ignition is off. Okay, and then this helps avoid data loss when the need for the PCM and relearn settings after each startup. Okay, now consequences of a cam loss. All right, so you have potential rough idling or reduced fuel efficiency in the PCM, or it requires several driving cycles for the PCM to relearn those lost settings. Okay, so step number 1 is to scan the vehicle. Let's see what data we can obtain, and here you can see we have the P16330. Okay, and what this basically means is the vehicle's computer isn't getting constant power to maintain its memory in the engine when the engine is off. And the common reasons could be a break in the power line, fluctuating or weak connections in the power line itself. And then what happens is when the power is interrupted, the check engine light might come on. The computer will record the P1633 error code. So the second step is to get the diagram, and we're going to identify the PCM connector and locate the pin 62, which is the keep alive power. So this is your PCM right here. Okay, this is our connector reference. You can see here on this diagram, this is our connector reference, and the keep alive power is right here on pin 62. all right, where the circuit number is. So if we follow this all the way up here, it's going to take us to the battery junction box. And if you look here, this thing is hot at all times. Okay, now if you look at this fuse right here, it's F72, it's a 10 amp fuse. And if we follow this down, okay, it actually gives power to the control side of the PCM power relay. Okay, so if everything is fine, if your car is starting, okay, I'm assuming that the fault will probably need to be on this pin 62. Okay, but we have to validate this first. So first we're going to check to see that the fuse 72 is functional. All right, so let's go ahead and locate the fuse box, which you can find right here. Okay, and then after that, we're going to locate F72, the PCM power relay, and you can see it right here. Okay, and we're going to use our test lamp. Now, when you do the visual inspection and do the fuse check, if everything turns out to be fine, the next logical step would be to back probe the PCM connector with the test lamp while observing the live data on the Maxisys Ultra. Okay, so pin 62 is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the fifth one over. Okay, and the requirement for the voltage needs to be above 10 volts. And this is just to confirm that the memory of the power circuit has a strong enough electrical connection to avoid voltage troughs which could cause memory loss to the PCM. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the PCM, and what you're going to see here is when pin 62 does not receive power, when the test probe is not applied, the KPA, the keep alive power memory, reads as a fault, which you can see right here. And then now when we apply the test lamp, giving it power, the status changes to okay. All right, so this implies there could be an issue with the voltage supplied to the keep alive memory circuit from the PCM connector when it's supposed to be powered at all times. So in essence, the test lamp is like completing the circuit and changing the keep alive power memory status to okay. So this is indicating that there's a fault within the supply line of the PCM. Okay, so the strategy I would recommend at this point is to probably start from the source of the power, the battery junction box, and you're going to look for potential breaks, resistance in the wire, because you know what happens, these cars vibrate a lot. You know, like, you know, maybe this guy's like a trucker or something like that, or farmer, and those harnesses, they rub on stuff, and that's where there could be a break. Okay, so all these entry points we're gonna check. Okay, and if that ends up being fine, the last potential problem would probably be the PCM itself. You probably need to replace it. Okay, so that's how you diagnose that particular issue. Okay, next question. I'm having an issue with my unit. It's been shutting off randomly, even after it's been sitting on charge overnight. The unit will not wake up, and it requires a reboot. It's up to date, and the battery's charge is always full. So this is what you guys need to do to test if you have a fault in your docking station or in your tablet. You're gonna extract the Maxisys tablet, and you're gonna plug it directly into the power cable on the top of the tablet. Okay, keep it on charge for a couple hours, and then turn it on. If your tablet is working fine, that means your docking station is faulty. Okay, and you need to get it replaced. If you kept it on charge as is, then that means your tablet is faulty if it's not operating properly. Okay, so that's how you can decipher if it's the docking station or the tablet that's faulty. Okay, Next question. I'm planning to replace and program a footwell module on my BMW. What are some of the essential steps I should take beforehand to ensure a successful programming session? Great question. BMWs are extremely sensitive to voltage. So I always recommend people at least charge it for at least 1 hour before you attempt their programming. Now this step ensures that the battery is at optimal condition, both in terms of voltage and amperage. Okay, you never want to program with a weak battery, because if the battery isn't sufficiently charged, the charger will cycle in an attempt to protect the battery from damage. And what happens is, during this cycling, the voltage and the amperage variations can occur, which is risky and it can potentially brick the unit. Okay, so charge it 1 hour before, make sure the voltage and amperage is good, and then you should be fine. Okay, next question. I've been manually entering the VIN for each vehicle to access my all data repair information from my diagnostic tablet, which is quite time consuming. Is there a more efficient way to do this? All right, so a lot of people probably don't know this. I know this because I help my clients when they're investigating, getting research and stuff. I actually have to get this VIN. If you hold this for 3 seconds with your finger, you're gonna get this prompt right here that says VIN copied successfully. Once it's copied, then you can go into any web page and paste it, and that way you don't have to manually insert it. Just a little tip that you can use. Okay. Next question. During ECU programming for Mercedes-Benz, I've hit a point where there are several data sets showing 75% chance of coding. Could you shed some light on how to determine the best data set to go for? Okay, so this is what he's talking about. I'm going to fast forward this programming procedure because Mercedes is quite long. Okay, right here, you guys. Okay, so here are data sets. Okay, I always start with the highest success rate, and then I'll click run. If it fails, I'll repeat the process. Usually when I get to the third one, I don't think any of them are going to work. So what I do is I'll submit this to my engineer through the data logging, and what they'll do is they'll open the servers, give you the right calibration file, and then you can run the procedure again, and then that usually does the job if these first 3 don't work. Okay, so go through the highest success rate, try the next one. Worst case scenario, submit the data logging to ask Autel if they can give you the right calibration file. Okay, next one. A quick question about the Maxisys Ultra EV. Can it recalibrate a battery management system, as I got customers noticing that their EV ranges and their vehicles are dropping, and I'm looking to give them some more miles and extend the battery life. Is this something that the Maxisys EV kit can do? Okay, so the answer is yes, and let me just explain what's going on here. So with these EV batteries in the vehicles, batteries get weaker over time as they can't hold as much power as they used to. Okay, and what happens is the car ranges drop and the batteries might wear out a little bit faster. So to fix this issue, what a lot of manufacturers recommend is to check and configure the battery's computer settings regularly, 6 to 8 months. And this checkup will kind of tell how much power is left in the battery, and it's kind of like giving it like a health report. Okay, now the benefits would be it makes sure your car knows the real power of the battery. It helps your car show more accurate driving range, and it helps the customer get more out of their battery as the vehicle gets older. And it allows you to actually have an extra service deliverable that you can extend to your client. You can tap in a new market of offering this particular service. Okay, and the function route on how you would get there, you go to the EV battery pack test, and then you'll follow the prompts after you select the vehicle. Okay, and you guys got to take this very seriously. I don't want any fried technicians. just jump into this thing, okay? So once you pick the vehicle, you'll see the jumper connection diagram, and then this is the entry point to get to those options, okay? Next one, we have the 2019 Audi collision sensor calibration. We have this Audi we got from another shop, and they replaced the driver front collision avoidance sensor in the driver front corner bumper. We're attempting to perform the dynamic calibration, but the setting error for sensor is being out of range. I think something needs to be coded or programmed. My question is this something that we can do, because I tried to use the Autel and I wasn't able to get any success. Let me know what you think. Okay, so here is the failure of the dynamic calibration. So a dynamic calibration is where you have to drive the vehicle in such a way where the sensors will kind of recalibrate itself on the road. Where static, it requires you to have those targets. What I did was he took a screenshot of his diagnostic report, and one thing that caught my attention was this guy right here. Okay, when you see a component protective active, the Autel is not going to be able to take this error code off. Okay, you have to use the OEM software. Okay, and the reason why I think this came up after the replacement, because the vehicle probably detected a discrepancy between the known configurations and the new part. So once we did that, I told him to give me another report, and he still had a bunch of codes. Okay, so I took an approach that was kind of systematic and prioritized. I first want to start off with these U codes here, right, in the front sensor for driver's assist systems. And then I want to go back to the sensor and calibration code, all right? So here's what he replaced. It's number 6 here, okay? And then it's the J1088. So I wanted to find out like what is, connected to this sensor. So as I pulled up the diagram, there's 4 critical components to this system. So the first one is the J533, the data bus diagnostic interface. Okay, so this is typically a gateway module that interfaces with various control units within the vehicle to facilitate communication between them. Okay, and it also may provide like a connection point for diagnostic equipment to communicate with the vehicle system. All right, and that's right here. All right, and you can see if we go down these lines here, it's connected to the J1088, and this is the front left radar sensor control unit, and the J1089 is right below it, and that's the right sensor control unit. Okay, the J1121, that's the driver assist control unit. So this thing wasn't giving us any power, so I said we need to test this. So he asked me where it was located, and you can see here the data bus diagnostic interface is number 15, so that will be right here. Okay, so there's several things that you guys need to know when you're going to be doing calibrations with Volkswagen and Audi. Okay, some problems the Autel is not going to be able to fix, and you have to use the Otis software. Okay, the second thing is a lot of times if a calibration doesn't go through, there's probably an underlying condition. So I always ask my clients to get as much information, even from the person who put the components on, the type of accident. All this information kind of helps, and that way we can kind of like backtrack. Okay, maybe when the impact hit this, it maybe knocked this over or something like that. Okay, so yeah, that's how we address that problem. Next one, I'm tackling a 2017 Honda CR-V that's throwing several misfire codes, P0300, P0301, P0302, and P0304 after some major repairs I did. I'm suspecting an issue with the PCM. Is this something that the Autel can do? If I replace it, can it reconfigure it? All right, so he sent me a picture of these misfire codes. What I did was I asked him, did he check for all these? He said all these are good. Then I asked him, did he check the ignition wires and the ICM failure? He wasn't even sure what this was. Okay, so I'm gonna explain this what this is in just a second. In regard to the P0300, this code is triggered when the engine control unit detects misfires in multiple engine cylinders. Okay, the detection is random and does not really pinpoint the specific cylinder. The misfires are typically due to issues affecting all cylinders similarly, such as problems with the fuel quality, air intake system, or ignition system components like the spark plugs and coils. Okay, so what I did was I wanted to just log in his device because he asked if we replace the PCM, if the Autel could do it. So if you go to the control unit, go to PCM, ECU replace, you'll see that function there. Okay, you just follow the steps and you'll be able to do it. Now, the ICM, this stands for Ignition Control Module, which you can see here. And when we selected it, we were getting a no communication. Now, I'm not sure if that was just because it's a dummy function. You know, some of these buttons you can click here, it'll say no communication. So what I did was I pulled out a diagram, and if you see here, this is our PCM, okay? And if you look at the ignition coils, number 1, 2, 3, and 4, you'll see that the ICM is integrated into this ignition coil, okay? Now, what the ICM does is it receives a signal from the PCM, which processes various engine parameters, and based on this data, the ICM adjusts the timing of the spark to optimize engine performance, reduce emissions, and maintain fuel efficiency. Okay, so this is what it looks like and where it's located. And what I did was, I don't like to just chuck parts on. I always like to, get some more data. And what I found out was there was actually a recall for this. Okay, so if you look here, these are all the codes that we were having. Okay, but if you look at the corrective action, it says to reset the maintenance minder light, replace the engine oil without replacing the oil filter, and replace the AC control unit. All right, clear any DTCs, update the PCM and the TCM software, reset the throttle position learn values, and do the PCM idle relearn. Okay, now two things that came to my head. Why is it they want us to replace the AC control unit, and why don't they want us to program it? Okay, so after doing some more research, I found some previous technical service bulletins that were telling the dealership, when they have this problem, have the customer bring the car in, and they actually need to program the AC control unit, but not just with any tool. They had like a special tool that you have to directly inject into the AC control unit, which I thought was weird. And I think what was happening was when they pushed this car out to market, it didn't have the software that was synchronized to the engine control module. Okay, and they were doing that manually. So then that's when they said, okay, you know what, let's send them an AC control unit that's pre-programmed, and that's why we don't have to do any programming with it. So if you guys get this fault, what I recommend you do is give the dealer the VIN number, let them know the symptoms, and you might, can qualify to get this done for free, basically. Okay. All right. I would like to update my Autel Maxisys Ultra. Is it possible to update it to an EV function, or will I need to upgrade it to a new Autel tablet? All right, so what he's saying is he has an older Ultra that's not up to date, so he doesn't have the EV function. If you want the EV function, just update your tool, and then you can purchase the kit, the EV kit, and you can marry them together, and you don't need to buy a whole nother tool for that. You just do this and you'll be perfectly fine. Question number 10. All right, the future of intelligent diagnostics of Autel devices. Okay, you guys, I'm a straight shooter. All right, a lot of you guys aren't gonna like this, but I'm just telling you how it is. All right, here's the email. I just want to ask you a question about the intelligent diagnostics feature on the Autel. I heard that Autel had a lawsuit that they lost, and that there will be no more intelligent diagnostics features on the Autel machines in the next few weeks. Is that correct? This will cause a huge problem for end users, and it's a big turnoff. Any info would be much appreciated. So I was like, wow, this is quite harsh. And I asked him, like, where did you hear this from? He said, I got it from my Snap-on dealer. He informed me because he said that Autels were bricking cars due to the fact that Snap-on applied the lawsuit and they had to take off the software, okay? And look, it's a lot of BS, all right? However, he was telling the truth about the lawsuit, okay? So for those of you who don't know, the intelligent diagnostics are basically an app that allows you to get technical service bulletin, data analysis, repair assist, that will walk you through the diagnostic frameworks. And what happened was I contacted my engineer because my clients haven't been complaining about this, right? And he told me if the manufacturing date is after or in this year 2024, none of these new units will have this function, okay? However, if the unit was manufactured before December 22nd of last year, 2023, the features would still be on them and it won't be blocked. So in other words, if you purchase your Autel device, like let's say 6 months ago, you're fine. You're not gonna have this feature taken off your device. If you just purchased a unit, then this is going to be a problem. And you know what? This just happened to me today. All right. And I felt so bad because when I consult the client, I specifically told him to get this tool because of that. Because having that data will help with your workflow. So what I did was I logged into his tablet because he was looking for it. And what Autel did was they replaced the Intelligent Diagnostic app here, and they put vehicle data. So when you click it, you're gonna get that icon, and it's Motor True Speed. Now this is a subscription service of $650. So this is gonna be the replacement of the Intelligent Diagnostics, okay? What I did was, like, I wasn't sure on how, let's say, informative this service is. I gave my client a 1-year subscription with Identifix, which I think might be a little bit better just because it has more information than I think this company would, okay? Yeah, it's something that I had to do because I sold him a tool and I told him this, you know? But yeah, this is Autel's new or temporary solution, and yeah, it's one of those things, guys. You just have to adjust. You just have to adjust. It is going to affect a lot of people. Only thing I can tell you is, you know, just if you have a good supplier, if they're nice, they can probably do something like I did. But other than that, man, it's just it is what it is. Okay. So with that, you guys, that's about it. If you would like to purchase your tool, you know where to go. And with that, you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Talk to you later.